This video will teach you how to win your very first 5-figure client, and I've broken it down into 3 steps. Step 1, where to find a 5-figure client. Step 2, how to price a 5-figure client. And step 3, how to win them over. And I'm going to be covering all 3 of those steps in this video. Alrighty, so with no time to waste, let's get right into step 1, where to find your 5-figure client. And this comes down to your marketing. Now, as a creative director, I've specified this video in the examples within based around the film industry, but this can apply to multiple different industries. And the very first marketing technique that I use is word of mouth. This is how I got my first 5-figure client, because I was working with people that like, know, and trust me. Now, how do I build these relationships? Well, these relationships can come from anywhere. They can come from the workplace, they can come from your family members, they can come from friends. And what you want to do is make sure you clearly identify what you do and what your skill is. So for me, at the time, I was a creative director specializing in online course making. And that's exactly what a friend, a peer of mine, said to my 5-figure client was, this person specializes in online courses and this is the work he does. Now, I had previous work that I had done. I didn't just walk straight into the industry of shooting online courses and get a 5-figure client. I had previous work that I'd done and worked up the ranks to getting that 5-figure job. Now, with word of mouth, you need to make sure that the right people are saying the right things to those people for them to ideally get in touch with you. So you really need to make sure that you specify what you do. Step 2 within step 1 is online marketing. You can hit people through Facebook ads, Google SEO, any other form of digital advertising, and that's going to help you kind of get in front of clients that are prepared to pay those 5 figures. How you pitch yourself in there needs to be a professional service. You need to show that you are a professional at what you do, and that's ideally going to help you in landing that first 5-figure client. So once you've kind of got down word of mouth marketing and digital marketing, you've gone and spoken to your friends, you've said, hey, if you're ever interested in doing this, or you know of anyone interested, see, the key there is, do you know of anyone? That person's going to feel like they want to help you, and if they ever come across anyone that says, hey, Ryan, I want to shoot an online course, they're going to think of, whatever your name is, and say, hey, my friend Jake is really good at producing online courses, you should reach out to him. Now, when that inquiry comes, which leads us into step 2, how to price for a 5-figure client, this is probably the key to getting the 5-figure client, is you need to understand what business they are in and how your service is going to be of value to them. Now, for my first 5-figure client, what I did was analyze his business and the products that he was selling and the services he was providing, and did a couple of calculator mathematical equations, and figured out that he could probably afford my service at that price. Now, the reason I priced it in the 5 figures was because he was going to make X amount of dollars off of the service I was providing and the service he currently provides as well. And that's key to making sure you are pricing your services correctly. Now, a good example of this is when a business comes to you and the local bakery down the road, family owned, they've been in business for quite some time, but they're not necessarily, a Brumby's bakery, they're just a family owned bakery. Now, when that business comes to you, you're going to charge them based on what they would be able to afford, because ideally you don't want to lose the client, especially if you're in the market, say, or they're coming for a logo, and you want to design them a logo, you're going to charge them less than what you would charge Brumby's. Now, the reason you would charge Brumby's a hell of a lot more than the family local bakery down the road is because Brumby's is everywhere. There is a lot of brand awareness, and your logo is going to be used ideally to generate them a lot more work and a lot more clients and customers and people coming to that bakery. It's the same goes for if Nike was to hit you up to shoot a sporting commercial over the local soccer team down the road. You're not going to charge the local soccer team $300,000 because they don't have $300,000 to give you, whereas Nike does. And the key to figuring that out is to look at the brand, look at what they do, look at what they sell, do people know about them, and factoring your pricing into the services you do provide. There is an extra cost to having a really familiar business coming through your door, knows about. And that is a huge key to pricing what you do. And thirdly is winning the client. And when you put step 1 and step 2 into place, you've now got examples, you've now got, the strategy as to why you do price things the way that you do. And ideally what you want to be doing is sell them on the reason they came to you in the first place, which is they like, know, and trust you, and you make them believe that in the process before starting that job. And that's one of the key skills I have myself. I would say I'm a great networker. I have a lot of great networking abilities, and my network is vastly big and helps me in everything that I do. I almost always know someone that can help whoever comes through my door, and I say, hey, this person is great at life consulting. This person is great at social media ads. This person knows how to photograph your product. Now, these are things that I've done in the past, but I know people that are specialists at it. And that is a key thing as well as to why those people are going to want to work with you, is because you are a specialist in what you do. For myself, I really had to figure out what did I want to be a specialist in, and ideally I've narrowed that down to being a creative director for campaigns. How can I specialize that even more? I work with people that are based in the Gold Coast. My business operates solely in the Gold Coast at the moment because that's what I can handle as a business owner, and that's where I think are most of my clients and the market I want to be achieving. So to wrap up this video, pretty much what you want to be doing is making sure you're reaching out to people and letting them know of the service you provide. Now, you don't necessarily have to say, hey, I want to work with you straight away. You can say, hey, if you know of anyone that wants to use this service, that's a message that's worked for me so many times, because usually the person you message, hey, do you know of someone looking to run social media ads? They are probably going to be the person that wants it, but you don't directly ask them, and that's a key thing to showing that you're interested in what you do, you specialize in what you do, you value that person as well in the long run, saying, hey, I like to do social media ads. If you know of anyone, that's really cool. 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to come back to you and say yes, unless of course, they are, Uncle Bob down the road that has never done anything on social media and he doesn't do any type of work in that field in any sense. But a lot of people will come to you based on you just asking them if they know of anyone. Pricing for the 5-figure client is going to help you so much as well. Now, not every client is going to be a 5-figure client. There might be 6 or 7 figures, or they might only be in the 4-figure range, or even in the 3-figure range. If your service is literally just going and taking one photo of someone, it could be in the 2-figure range. And that's what you need to work out with your business and how that works. But it's so easy to do once you start to specialize and really nail in what you want to do. The biggest thing I've learned through my career is making sure I'm specializing in what I do. So when my mum goes and says, hey, my son's a creative director and he shoots campaigns, I'm getting clients coming through that channel. I had a business owner come to my house the other day, and I wasn't there, but I had put a review us on Google on my door, and she asked, hey, will you guys run a business from here? And my dad gave this to me a look at what I did because I had told him exactly what I do. And if that guy's ever looking for a creative director or someone to shoot his next campaign, he knows where to go because someone has told him that, and that instantly builds that, likeness, knownness, and trust, if those are the 3 words that you want to run with. And lastly, winning the client, really sell yourself, really show them that you are the best person for the job. And that's exactly what I did for my first job. I sent them a director's treatment. I showed them where the money was going to be spent. And I provided a super high quality product that they were super happy with. There was a lot of great responses from everyone else that was involved in the project, and it was one of my favorite projects that I've ever done. So if you're looking for more tips on how to do any of that stuff, shoot me a message over on Instagram and I'd be happy to help you guys out with that.